Howdy everybody in YouTube land. How about something a little bit different than what we typically see on this channel? I've had this thing since 2018 so far, and I've not done any kind of analysis on it, repair work, or I don't know what's going on with this thing yet. So this is, for those who follow my channel that don't really know vintage TVs, there's a lot of vintage TV channels out there, but in case you don't know, this is actually a Zenith Porthole 12-inch set. So this is a 12LP4, 12KP4, something like that CRT, at least it should be. But there's no frills, no bells and whistles, nothing crazy. We have a little control panel down here. Zenith. It's in fairly good shape, as far as I can tell. I don't know the internal condition of any of this yet. That sucker's cranked wide open, whatever it is. Cranked wide open. Horizontal hold. Yeah, okay. Maxed out. But other than that, there's the tuner. And then there's the volume and power control. It's very loose. So that's the front of the unit. And it's not in bad shape. There's a little bit of touch-up paint that needs done here. Like there's a little bit of corrosion. That needs to be addressed. There's some crap in the front of the glass here that's just kind of like laying down in there. I don't know how this glass comes off. I've never had it off before. There's this thing here. No, I think that's like an antenna or fine-tuning control or something. I don't know, because vintage TVs are not really my forte. But last time I worked on TVs like this, I was a teenager. Back in the early 2000s, early mid-2000s, when I was still in high school. I worked on an Emerson and a VT71, but this one I've never worked on, never seen one. I don't know much about it. It's missing a power cord. Otherwise, the grill cloth is in good condition. There's a little bit of scuzz on there, but it's not bad. The Tolex is in real good condition. So, yeah, I picked this up in June of 2018 from a local place. A guy was liquidating his collection. He was an older gentleman. He was probably in his 60s or 70s. I don't even know if he's around anymore, but yeah, he was eliminating a lot of his collection. I got it for a decent price. Wasn't cheap, but it wasn't expensive. So, without further ado, let's pull the back off of this guy and see what we got going on the inside. So looking on the back side here, this is all Corco-twinculated out of place. So that's going to need a little bit of love eventually. But for now, let's take the back cover off and see what we have going on. Now, this room is kind of small. So it's not like I had at the old place where, you know, I had everything. But no, this is it. I mean, literally everything is just cramificated. But it's alright, because I got all that room out there for staging and all that stuff. My main workstation and all that crap is out there in that main front room. Because there's the door that goes to the outside. But, yeah. And now, this is a basement. There's a whole nother floor up there, which is the living space. So this is, instead of Adrian's digital basement, this is Tech Knight's analog basement. Because that's kind of what we have going on here. Now, one thing I noticed right away, the cord is completely gone. It's cut off. And that looks like a funky plug. So, right away, we're going to need a cheater cord. So, that part we know we're going to need. And why did they ever think flathead screws were a good idea? This is painful. I guess Phillips wasn't invented yet. I do not know. Right now it's just filler words. Alright, so off you go. Well, that's certainly not a good sign. Oh boy. Why is the... Yeah, pretty dusty in here. As expected. A lot of cadmium corrosion. Let's see. This chassis top, or the chassis top of this receiver is connected to one side of the power line. Oh, that's nice. Hot chassis. Yeah. Okay, I see what's going on here now. So, up there, that little turning knobby thing goes to this antenna array, which comes down and it's comes just hanging in there, which goes there. But they were not using the original antenna, so there it is. All right, so okay. Tubes look. I don't see any gassed out tubes or anything, so power transformer. That's weird. Why would you use a hot chat? Never mind. I don't know. Well, since the CRT socket is off, let's grab the CRT tester and let's test this thing. All right, I'm not holding out much hope for this, but yeah, let's get this to filament set. Let's see if this guy will even reach. Oh, which one do I need? I need this one, I think. This is the only one I have that will fit. Not holding much hope. Probably why he sold it to me so cheap, because the CRT is done, but we'll see. Alrighty then, so turn the power on. Let the filament settle. 6.3 volts. Do you have any glowing? Well, we got glowing. No shorts. Gun balance. Yeah, nothing. Yeah, dead. That's what I thought. Although it might need to wake up. But, this tube is gone, I think. Although, it's a 12 LP4. What is this? Oh. Don't know. Can't tell. Can't tell. No, gun balance is coming up. It's just very... Let's see. Yeah. Do I have the right socket? So what's the live test? Yeah. Let's see. It'll produce a picture. It'll produce a picture, but... It will produce a picture, but it's going to be marginal. Alright, well, this guy, this rodeo might have ended before it started. So I'm going to let this bake for a minute. Alright, it's been running for about 2-3 minutes so far. So I have the gun balance set now. I got more than what I did before, but not a whole lot. That's certainly better than what we had before. But if I turn the live test on, it kind of falls pretty good. So really, it's not bad. I mean, it's got some hours on it, but it's not terrible. Clean this off a little bit off the top because it was kind of dusty, but the cathode doesn't show any signs of... I mean, you can see a little bit of the bluing in there, but it's not terrible. So, well then, I guess that's good enough for us to proceed. So, CRT is actually fairly strong. So I think at this point, I need to look at removing the chassis and checking the transformers and all the other critical parts, check the flyback, all of that stuff, and see what kind of work's been done to it anyways. So, I'm worn out now. That was fun to get out. The top of the CRT would not clear this. So, what I had to do was I had to bring it out as an angle like this. And then I had to remove the flyback lead. And even with that removed, you can still see the top of the cabinet scraped right there. So it's literally that close to get this thing out. Wow, that was pain. But now that we got it out, we can kind of take a closer look and see what we're dealing with. Now the speaker wire here is completely petrified, so that's got to go. And it looks like they made it out of old line cord, so we're going to have to replace that. Oh, we have a cathode fuse here we need to check and see if it's blown. It'll kind of give us a condition of what this set was last doing when it was put away. I cleaned this off a little bit, and that CRT really looks clear. There's hardly any hours on it. I am concerned there's a big scratch right there. You can kind of see it. So, probably from when they put the Scion trap on. Aside from that, I have some plastication here that holds the CRT bezel in. There's some more plastic down there. But, yeah, that's... as far as I can tell, there's like some hardened chemical on that. I don't know what that is. And it's oozed itself all the way down. I'm not sure. I guess we're going to find out. Alright, so what should we do next? Maybe we pull a CRT and get it out of the way, or... It's cork. I'm trying to think of the best way to handle this chassis, because the CRT is in good condition. I don't want to break it. So how do we remove the tube? Trying to think if there's an easy way to do it, but I know the only way I can see to do it is to pull the ion trap off, take all this hardware off, and then slide the CRT out that way. Because I think what I want to do for testing is I want to use a test CRT. I don't want that one getting damaged. I'm just going to throw something random in there, and if something happens to it, whatever. Huh. That's a funky looking dongly do chingus. Cute. Oh, it looks like there was something there at one time. Because, there's no string there now. You can kind of see where there used to be. Curious what that went to. Oh, I see. Went to that one down there. So we're missing a dial cord between the two pulleys. I can kind of see the dial cord laying down there now. Okay, so there's some dial cord fun that we have to deal with. Oh yeah, there's the rest of it there. Yep, there it is. I'm not sure what it does or what it's for. And that thing's frozen solid, so yeah, that'll have to get freed up. So we definitely got some work we have to do to this chassis. Let's take a look underneath it, but first I need to get this out of the way before it gets broke. Because where am I going to find another 12 LP4 KP4? Probably nowhere. So let me get that out of the way. Alright, so I got the CRT out, and that was a pain in the rear end. Because the tube itself, we have this flange in the front, which is held on by two screws here and here. But right in front of this flange also sits this, which is the switch mount. That has to get unscrewed anyways to pull the chassis out. then everything comes here. But if you're not careful, the tube will fall down on you and you don't want to neck it. So before you even pull that out, I had to remove the ion trap magnet, which is this funky thing right here, which I've not seen one this design before. So this is an interesting design because what I had to do is I had to take my channel locks here and squeeze these two to try to round this out and just carefully finagle it off the back of the tube without catching that and ripping it off. Or necking the tube by squeezing too hard. So I don't like these. But I got it. It's out. And I can set that aside. So once I had that out, then I could, work on getting the tube out. So I took those screws out and then I held it and then slowly pulled it out. And then wiggling it to get it around this cardboard. Now this is a permanent magnet focus coil. And this is the adjustment, I think. Because I don't see any wires going into that focus coil. So those of you that don't know, most of you that watch my channel probably already do by watching Bob and Shango and all those guys. But those who have not, that's the focus magnet, and this is the deflection yoke, which is horizontal and vertical deflection. So that looks to be a permanent magnet versus a coil. So, yep, that's nice to have, but that is frozen solid. That's important because that is the focus, I'm pretty sure. Yep, that is definitely the focus adjustment. Yeah, it's kind of like seized in there, I want to say. I don't know. I gotta look at the service manual and see. I'm pretty sure that's the focus adjustment. You run that in and out. But anyway, so now that the CRT is out of my way, this chassis is safe to work on. And before I flip the chassis, let's doing this live on camera. Oh, that's a 12LP4 as I thought. Theta guaranteed custom built. That means this is a replacement CRT. So this isn't original. This is a replacement, which is nice because it's a rebuilt tube or it's a brand new tube that we now have. So it was retired shortly after the tube was rebuilt. All right, let's see. What do we got? Flaky connection, but yeah, it's flaky as hell. Yeah, it's definitely flaky. I'm going to have to sand that up or replace the fuse. But it is good, sort of. Okay, so we know we don't have a blown cathode fuse. Doesn't mean that the flyback isn't bad, but the fuse isn't blown, so we have that going for us at least. So we can check that off our list. There's this foam thing, which is actually still pliable. It's melted a little bit. You see where it dribbled on that side, but it's still very pliable. Anyways, leave that alone. We have 1, 2, 3 electrolytic capacitors. Yeah, let's take a look at the yoke and see if we have anything of any concern. Because again, we gotta check everything out to look for viability on repair. See some blackening on those bottom coils, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. They could just be dirt and dust. I'm not seeing any major burnouts, but again, it doesn't mean much looking visibly. So far, I don't see anything with that. Oh yeah, I had to remove these springs and rods from the CRT to remove it. So there's that broken the cable, which is right there. There's one of the springs. I don't know where it goes yet. The other spring's right here. So at least I have the springs that went in there, but yeah, that's frozen solid. It ain't moving. So that's why that snapped. Someone tried to turn the knob and went snap. But, well, not all's too bad, but there's an original Bumblebee, so that's probably not... That's original anyways, so this thing is probably unrestored, so let's take a peek. Let's take a look up underneath it and see. Pull it backwards, and then we'll just lift this guy up. God, this thing's heavy. I gotta move the ion trap. There's just not enough room on this bench. Alright, so let's... Oh, this is just teetering on the brink of death. Stay. Alright, let's see what surprises we have inside, ladies and gentlemen. Oof. Look at that flyback. Oh, yeah. I think I know why this one was retired. Flyback failure. It's only a guess, but that don't look good. No, it don't. To see if I can't find another one, because that's... Yeah. Alright, so... Oh, there's the remainder of the cable. This is kind of all wrapped up in there. See where it's splintered off. Oh, that's the fine-tuning adjustment. Okay. That's not seized. So that still... Yeah, it still turns. So that's fine-tuning. Alright, that makes sense. Yeah, all original as far as I can tell. I don't see any evidence of work being done on this chassis. This thing is all original. The tubes aren't. There's some RCAs and stuff like that in there, but the components themselves, I don't see any bodges anywhere in here. So this thing is all original. Ugh, that Bumblebee's split. And that looks like an across the line capacitor too, so that's the death cap. It's gone. It's gonna need changed. Yeah, it's gonna need changed. And I gotta remember how to read those color bands. That's 473. So 0.047? Or is that a 0.47? I don't know. I don't know if it's a 0.047 or a 0.47. It's one of those two. Oh, it's a 0.1. I think that's a 0.047 and that's a 0.1. I think that's what that is. Yep. So, I mean, it's in good shape. So, okay, it's in very good shape. At this point, what I need to do, this is a concern. That's got me worried. You can see like some meltiness in there. Flyback is hosed, I think. Could be wrong, but I don't know. I don't like that look at all. I need to get a closer look at that. That could just be wax. And it's very possible it's just old and flaking out. No, that's wax. Yep, that's wax. That's to help the high voltage. I just gotta hope that flyback's good, because if that's bad, then I'm hosed. And from what I understand, I did some quick research online. I've heard horror stories that the flybacks are kind of a known weak point in these. So if the flyback is bad, this thing is toast. I'll pull the CRT and go look for a better set with a 12-inch CRT that might have a dud CRT instead of this. But I really want to get this working. What is that? It's a funny looking cap or something in there. There's a Candome resistor right there. Yeah, this chassis is all original. All right, well, next point is I need to get the schematic service manual, and we're going to start checking some key points in here, like I'm going to say one of these is that's the audio output transformer right there, which is not that critical. One of those is the vertical output transformer, which I think is this guy here. That could be the blocking oscillator transformer, or that could be something else. I don't know. I'll have to look it up. But alrighty then. So let's go grab a schematic so we can start checking some key points in this chassis. It was pretty late when I did the last take, so I decided to put it off until this morning. So I think what I want to do, I was taking a look at this flyback and it's roached. This is the tire just falling off of it. It was, I'm concerned, really concerned. Did some quick research online, and apparently these are known for that. Some worse than others. Now, I did take the fuse out and double checked it, which I don't know where in the hell I put the fuse. I can't find it anywhere. But I did take the fuse out and double check it, and it was good. And I can see dust, icicles, corona trails off the transformer. So it was using it. They were using it when the flyback was like this already. So, and the CRT appears to be a replacement. It's not original, and it tests pretty much new after it sat for a bit. So this thing was put away or died in operation after they changed the CRT, so it was kicked to the side, who knows, 60 years ago, 50 years ago at this point. I'm sure it was probably retired sometime in the 60s or 70s. It's hard to say, but speculating at this point. Anyways, what I'm going to do, I think, is I'm going to do a quick dry checks of these transformers, but you know what? I'm probably going to rig up a power cord, and I'm likely going to plug it into the light bulb over there and try to do a slow power up of this guy, just to see if I can get any high voltage out of this thing at all. Now, I already removed the CRT. It's completely out. And what I have now is I've got a little test CRT here. And this one looks kind of like it was a rebuild at one point, but this should be perfect for plugging into the unit and testing the high voltage and all of that stuff. So that way I'm not manipulating the 12 LP4 around and, you know, accidentally getting it broke or something. So, but there's the means of this fine-tuning wire that I got to figure out at this point where the hell it goes. But that'll be a thing for another time. I just need to see if, more importantly, if that's any good, because that's what I'm worried about. All right, so let's get the critical coils and stuff tested first. But we have the Sam's Photo Fact here. I got the physical hard copy because, believe it or not, these are actually cheaper to obtain on eBay than they are to pay Sam's themselves on the website. Granted, digital is handy, but yeah, it's just easier to do it this way. So for now, and usually you can buy the whole folder, so you get a bunch of them that are you don't need, but at least I have the one that I do need. So, oh, there's the dial cord, volume control drive. No, this doesn't have a pointer. This must be for the radio chassis. No, this is definitely the chassis. Okay, this is a convoluted little set. This is, okay, so this is the 16-inch version. Oh, this is not the 16-inch model, but the design looks the same. Almost. Not quite, because that doesn't have the transformer on the top, so that's not it. This might be the wrong one. Stand by. Unfortunately, I have the complete wrong SAMs. This is for the 16-inch version, and the chassis doesn't match. I need the 12-inch version, so I'm going to have to go digging around and see if I can't find the right ones digitally. Alright, so this is getting more and more interesting. I found a model number. It's very hard to see it. You got to hold the right tongue angle and shine a light on it just the right way. But it's a 2232 or 2322 or something like that. Yeah, 2322R. So this is a G2322R. Okay. Now, the SAMs, according to the photo facts, they only have this one copy. This is the right one, but it's for the 2322, not the 2322R. There's absolutely no mention of R in the SAMs, and it doesn't show any in the lookup either. So they never had an R SAMs. But apparently the chassis is the same. However, SAMs took it upon themselves to say, okay, well, we're only going to cover the split chassis. So the parts diagram or any of this stuff is 100% useless because it's completely different. There's a transformer on the top there and it's missing here. Well, that's not what I have going on here. So this is 100% useless. Now, a friend of mine, CJ, turned me on to this document, which is a factory service manual that shows the metal cone CRT, but there's the transformer I'm looking for. And I can't tell what's going on up there, but that certainly looks like what I've got going on here. So this looks to be the right manual. Now, if I look at this, 2322, Claire Bear, blah, 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 chassis 23G22. And if I pull up on here, well, this is what I got, but this is the 2322R, which is what I have. This is what I got. The manual from Zenith does not cover the R, and it doesn't indicate what R means. But it is a 2340. Now, I'm wondering if all the R means is it has a glass CRT versus the metal cone. I don't know. But it doesn't cover it. However, at least it gives me the proper parts diagram. So, as far as I can tell, this looks accurate. Yeah, so, well, if this is normal, then I must be drunk. Anyways, it goes into a lot more detail of how this works. It's the factory manual, so that's certainly better than having the SAMs, and at least I have it now. So I think I'm going to use this to diagram because it gives me everything I need to know. Shows the power supply, the rectifier. It's laid out exactly the way I need it to be. This is the separated chassis, which is what the SAMs covers, and only that. So that doesn't help me. And this is what the SAMs covers. The 24G24. It doesn't cover the 23G24. So yeah, I need the 23G24, not the 24. So, but everything, as far as I can tell. And there's there we go. Now we're getting somewhere because there's what I have going on. Okay, so there's the parts list, all of that fun stuff. Where's the schematic? I bet you they dumped it all the way at the bottom. Yep, they did. So this is the schematic. It's impossible to read, but certainly better than not having anything. Yeah, see, there's the power supply. There we go. 5U4, 25Z6. Yeah, we got it. This is... Okay, so this must be... Okay, so there's the two different chassis. This is the 23G22. Yep, that's the one I need. And this is the 24G22. This is what the SAMs covers. 24G24 separated chassis. Yeah, so okay, at least now I have it. All right, good. So now I have what I need to work on this set at least. So still though, I think I'm going to go ahead and patch on a power cord here and connect in the light bulb and just do a slow power up and see what this thing does. But before I do that, I need to get the test CRT mounted. Actually, no, because I'm going to leave the horizontal output out. Because what I want to try to do is let the caps reform and see if I can get any kind of high voltage at all out of this. And that'll tell me if I'm going to go proceed with the full restoration or not. Because if this flyback is bad, there's no point. I got rid of that petrified speaker cable cord. And I went ahead and took apart the original power cord interlock off the rear cover and soldered on a brand new power cord just for testing. And got the dim bulb up and going. And if I've had it going for about 10 minutes now, this voltage is slowly creeping up. That's the primary voltage. It's hard to see, but that really says 86 volts. It's slowly increasing, and I'm monitoring the B plus where the horizontal output tube was, and I'm about 150 volts. Now, this one cap on the end is getting very warm, so it's definitely shorted and leaky, and it's slowly reforming. So I'm just going to let this go probably for the next, I don't know, hour or two. It's going to take a long time to get this properly reformed. And it may not reform 100%. This cap may end up blowing out on me, but we'll see. I'm just going to give this a very slow roll. And things like, in a situation like this, you have to be patient. And even then, there's no guarantee I'm going to get high voltage. But I want to do this just to make sure the flyback even produces high voltage without arcing all over the place. If the flyback is okay, then I'm going to leave it alone and just clean it up and reseal it and all that stuff. If the flyback is okay, then we can proceed to restoration. Because if the flyback is no good, there's no point in restoring it unless I can find another flyback. Alright, so this television has been sitting for maybe an hour, hour and a half on a dim bulb tester. Now, this bulb has 3 stages. We have off, 50, 100, and 150 watt, and that's all it'll do. But it's not big enough to power the set all the way up. So it's been sitting on the bulb on the highest setting for a while. The cans are not cold anymore, or not warm anymore, because they were super hot. And now they're just cool to the touch. Well, they're kind of warm with radiant heat, but yeah, I think at this point, only thing I can do is just plug it straight in the wall and juice it. I wish I had a bigger ballast bulb or a variac or something like that, but I don't have any of that right now. So I'm just going to plug it straight in the wall. It'll either going to work or it's not. I just want to know if that flyback's any good. But yeah, see, it won't do anything because there's not enough volts. So also, look how much cathode burn off is there. That's quite a bit. But I was looking at something here in the Sam's, and I was hoping the schematic it would at least somewhat be accurate, because it gives you indication of the differences in the horizontal outputs and all that stuff based on the 22G2, 23G2 chassis, which is what this is. But look, vertical output 6v6 GT. Tell me, where do you see a 6v6 GT in here? You don't. It would normally be here. That's not a 6v6. The actual schematic, which is totally unreadable, shows a 6AQ5 for the vertical output, which is exactly what that is. So, yeah, just more garbage. That vertical output tube is pretty toasty, so that almost makes me think that the output transformer is okay. But actually, you know what? Let's just go for broke. Let's just plug this guy in. I'm so scared right now. I'm actually gonna hold on to that plug. See, catch any magic smoke on camera. Whoa, we have high voltage. Holy crap. Means the flyback's good. Yes. Okay, we can proceed with the restoration. I'm gonna go ahead and unplug this right now. So I'm stripping the chassis down, getting things ready for restoration, when I noticed, pulling these tubes out, there's a mix of tubes from different brands, so this thing has seen service over its life. Besides, the bottom of the chassis looks original. But one thing I wanted to make an observation is this is in the tuner. And that, if that's a date code, that's 74. So maybe. Well, there's only a three. It could be either 1974 or it could be 67, 43rd week. I don't know. But I'm going to assume that it's 1974. So this thing has seen use at least until 74, which is, that's a long time. 20-something years of service? No, that can't be right. Well, I mean, it's possible. That could be the 43rd week of 67. By the stylizing of the font. Yeah, that seems to be more right. So it's been used at least until the 60s anyways. Alright, so next thing I'm going to do is, since I know the flyback is good, what we're going to do with the flyback is we're going to remove it. Because I want to clean it up and get all the crap of it off of it, and I want to reseal it. So, to try to prevent any further damage from happening to it. I don't know if I want to coat the whole thing in silicone. Because then it's going to just suffocate it and it can't breathe. It's not going to be able to cool off, I don't think. But what I can do is I can seal the windings with this stuff here, which is an insulating varnish. So I could use, or otherwise known as Corona dope. So I can take some of that and just seal the windings up really good. That way it can't get, cause any more problems. I don't want any arcing or anything like that. Plus, I want to remove the flyback and do that anyways because I want to try to figure out a way if there's something I can install, drill some more holes in here, maybe put a small little, I don't know, I might be able to drill a couple holes here in a 40mm fan. And add some kind of cooling in here to try to keep that flyback cool because it's not like any more of those transformers are being made. But I want to do that. And I want to test all the tubes, I think, and sort them, which one's weak, which ones are okay, which ones are strong. Not to mention these 5U4s are incredibly rare, because this is an ST type. Typically you see the ones like that, not like this, so I want to hang on to that one. But anyways, so in the meantime, thank you for watching, and if you have a comment, please feel free to leave one, and don't forget to hit the like and subscribe and all of that fun stuff. And if you want to see more, please leave a comment below, because my channel's kind of all over the place, and it's hard to tell by viewership which ones people want to see and which ones not. Like, I uploaded a video on the Sharp TV that has no color and it barely got any views, so I'm thinking maybe not so much TV related videos, but we'll try. Until next time, guys.